Well, hey folks, Smudge here again. My peoples only gave me 3 minutes to tell you about this coming week's guest, and I just can't do it. I cannot do it. There's way too much to tell. So I put some comments on the bottom so I don't miss anything. They're a 10-year veteran of YouTube. They've had over 24 million views. They have a website presence. They have a Facebook presence. They have a Pinterest presence. And they have what I'm going to call a viral video. Interestingly enough, it's a very short video, and it was made by Tara's mom. And it's an educational video. How to fold a fitted sheet. Over 17 million views. On their website, you're going to find tons of free information, and they also have a store. She has authored a number of books. Some are in ebook form, and others are hardback. And it makes a great collection to anybody's household. Between Pinterest and Facebook, they have over 500,000 followers. That's just astronomical. The entire family gets involved. Her mother's been featured in a number of videos. The entire immediate family has been featured. And they do at least 3 live shows a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tons of books, tons of products. Living on a dime. We welcome them and are honored to have them as our guest. The stream will start at 8:57 Monday night, and the live begins at 9 o'clock. If you miss a show, just go to our homepage and scroll down to the playlist that we've created, Monday Night Live with Guests. There you can see all of our past videos, and they're very easy to follow because the chat is embedded into the stream. Now next week, we're going to have Will from the Weekend Homestead. And I know I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, subscribe so you don't miss a show. Take care, folks. There you go. You're live.
I'm live.
You're live.
Hi, folks. Just told I'm live. So I'm going to stop typing for a minute. We're going to have a fantastic show tonight. We have Tara and Mike from Living on a Dime. And they're here. Getting feedback.
I get it.
Oh, I can imagine with what time is it over there in Germany? Oh, beautiful you are. I have never been able to fold a fitted sheet. Never, ever. That's usually why I only have one set of sheets at a time. Hey, Miss B Lady, how are you? Oh, goodness, Jill Cooper. Name looks familiar. I think I know that woman. We are going to have, instead of just 2 trivia questions tonight, we're having 4. Oh, God, 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, my lordy. Germany. Yeah, she's in Germany. We have some from Germany. I haven't seen Krista come on. She's in Australia. But, yeah. So we're having 4 trivia questions tonight. 2 of them will be, they're all going to be about living on a dime. 2 will be ones that we're going to do where you get that whopping $2 bill. Don't spend it all in one place or on one candy bar. And then the other 2 will be Tara and Mike, and their prize is guess. cookbook. One of these. See, I have mine also. Handy dandy, right on my counter. No, not that one, just this one. Okay. So, they're, Bee Lady, they're sort of in the back behind the curtain. Oh, definitely, who knows? Definitely praying for Little Mountain Ranch and all the rest that are stuck up there where those fires are raging. I've been watching her videos and saw her live stream this afternoon. Knock on wood. Just glad they're okay so far. Tawana, how are you? I'm looking spry tonight, Coco. Not sure what spry is supposed to look like. What does spry look like? Oh, I just had a 7-year-old stare at me like she's supposed to know.
Well, let's go ahead.
It is 9:04.
It's 9:04.
It's
well,
9:04.
I guess it's about.
Let's open up those curtains. See if they peek on through.
All right. Well, folks.
Mike, you're live.
You're live.
They may want to scooch a little bit closer. Is this the screen that most?
That's what people.
There you
we go.
See there?
Yeah.
You know, he won't bite. Well, maybe he will. I don't know. We don't want to know. No, you're fine. You're fine. So here they are. Tara, did you get any rest from your show this evening? Man, those questions were coming. Boom, boom, boom. They can't hear him. Okay, hold on, folks. I just told Daryl they can't hear Tara and Mike.
Now they can.
How about now?
I'm getting these other questions typed in here.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
There we go. Yeah.
Joanne can hear.
Joanne, Coco has no audio. Smack your computer screen, Coco.
Yeah, it should be working now.
No sound from Tara and Mike. So
no sound from anyone.
Anybody like my gnome cup? See my new cute little gnome cup?
Oh, that is cute.
Isn't that cute, especially for the Germany? There.
He said you can't kill them.
Yeah, they're still saying that. Okay, Bandana can hear them now. Oh, they do now, Daryl.
Yeah. It's working fine. All right. Apologize, folks.
Tara with her gnome mug.
Yeah. Oh, good. Now everybody can hear us. Okay.
And then I watched your brother's videos yesterday and this morning. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he has just a small Superman collection.
Actually, that wasn't even... I wish he would have turned on the lights. We need to get him to show it because it is like... That was like a little bit.
He has a walk-in closet and a whole other room. Completely full.
He really does have the world's biggest Superman collection. He really does. But, yeah.
And then the magnets. Oh my Lord. How many, do you know how many there were total?
I think there was 82 total.
She's just going to have to, they're going to have to make a wall that's strictly stainless steel or something, metal, so she can put them all on a wall.
Yeah.
That may not be a bad idea.
I think she got them all on the refrigerator, but yeah, it was crazy. So, thank you for having us on, guys.
Well, glad to have you here. Who knows? Glad to have you here also for your first time.
Am I still smushed in enough? Here, do we need to go over this way?
No, you seem fine on my screen.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
They said they were only seeing one eyeball.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, Chris Weston put that.
So anyway, I guess I'm a little curious. You've been doing YouTube now for 10 years?
Sort of. So we started YouTube when it first came out, this great YouTube thing. And since Mike was a video producer, we thought, well, hey, we can do that. And we made 7 videos in 2007, and one of them was how to fold a fitted sheet. And we were just like, nope, this is not worth it. It's not worth the time or the energy. It was this ridiculous setup we used to have to do. And wasn't bringing us any, it wasn't helping us in any way, shape, or form. So we were like, forget this. So we stopped.
We got huge numbers of views, but we couldn't figure out how it would be useful for what we were doing.
Yeah. So then in 2014, How to Fold a Fitted Sheet went viral.
No doubt.
And it just took off. Here, Mike and I were like, Mom, nobody cares about folding a fitted sheet. But we just did it to humor, and here it went viral.
Isn't that something you can't? There's no way to know what's going to take off.
You really can't. Actually, it is hard to tell.
She said, "Hi, Sherry's granddaughter."
And that's why we watermark everything now, because we didn't watermark How to Fold a Fitted Sheet, and we probably lost close to 50 million minimum views that people took our name. Or didn't. People just took our video and took our name off the beginning and end.
Put it on their own channel.
I've seen that done. I've seen that done through a number of the homesteading community channels where content has literally been ripped off, jumped on somebody. Yeah, it's just crazy.
That's why we watermark everything now, or we try to, because, and even then, People have taken off our watermark. We had WikiHouse steal our cleaning our stainless steel sink video a couple months ago, and I got onto them. And they were like, but we promoted you. And I said, you promoted me clear down at the very bottom under the comments where nobody can see. You're not using my content. And they took it off after they'd already made about $3,000 to $5,000 off of it.
Wow.
Well, you know, they got to get their money for it, I guess, for their theft.
Yeah, it's crazy. So then in 2016, we started daily videos again.
It was, I think, 14 or 15, we started recording some things.
Yeah, in 15, we started recording a few. But then we really started doing it every day in 2016 then.
Well, it was funny, too, because it was in 16 where Tara said, YouTube sent me this thing saying we could go live. And I said, who's ever going to want to do this live? Mm-hmm. And then we started doing that in July, and, man, people just loved it. So,
well, and you're doing, what, three nights a week now?
Live.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I do 2 soap videos. Well, when things are calmed down, I do 2 soap videos on Tuesday and Thursday during the day, making soap also. And so we do 3 live videos and then 3 just, what do you call it? Standalone videos, I guess.
3 pre-recorded, edited ones.
Yeah.
But at first we did them every day for a couple months, but it was just killing us to do that, especially since we did it at noon at that time. So we couldn't get anything else done.
So... So tell everybody what prompted you to start writing books.
Insanity. My insanity. So I was on bed rest with my first pregnancy, and I just needed something to do. And this new thing came out called the internet. And I was on there chatting on frugal websites. Specifically, parentsplace.com had a frugal living community. And everybody kept asking, how do I save money on this? How do I save money on that? And the one thing they always asked was, how do I save money on my groceries? And I was also at the same time reading the Tightwad Gazette by Amy Decision. And she said, you know, everybody wants me to write a frugal cookbook, but I hate cooking and I don't want to do that. And I don't know what possessed me, but in my head, I was like, well, I could do that. So I decided to write a cookbook, not knowing at all what was involved. And at the time, when I was kind of figuring it out, I had the 4 ingredient cookbook ladies, Linda Cole. She said, writing a book is 5% of the work and marketing it is 95%. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. It took me 2 years to write this book. Ha ha ha. I think she was wrong. I think writing the book is 1% of the work and marketing is 99% of the work. Yeah.
Because at first we probably printed the books and then people said, hey, you need a website. So we put a website up and then nobody came.
Yeah.
We're watching the hit counter and it says 1. We're like, that's us.
So it's not one of those build it, they will come deals, huh?
Yeah. You have to tell them how to get there, and it's a very involved process. And so then we started advertising, and Countryside Magazine was our first place we advertised, and we did pretty well. And it took us 2 years to sell out of our first book. And so after we sold that first batch, we changed our cover. And then we've just kept evolving, and we've had publishers since then and that kind of thing. So, yeah, we're self-published, though, now again. So as a matter of fact, right before our show, we had a semi-truck sitting in front of our house.
It showed up like a half hour before the show.
Oh, you were talking about that at one of your live streams not that long ago.
Yeah, they were supposed to call. They're supposed to call us 2 or 3 days ahead of time so we can get the garage cleared out. They didn't. He said, oh, I called, and we looked on the caller ID. It was 10 minutes before. Like, that's going to do us a lot of good. so we can clear the garage, and then...
The warehouse, dear. Warehouse.
Oh, excuse me. We can clear the warehouse.
It sounds professional.
Sounds better.
Yes. So
we told the guy, sorry, dude, you're going to have to come back tomorrow, because today's been one of those days, and Mike could not get the show together. We did a post, and we lost it 3 times. We've never had this happen before. And we lost the post 3 times on our website. And it was a complicated post to do. And so we were just like, we know this is going to be a good show.
It's funny, whenever a lot of bad things all happen that seem mysterious and unexplainable, it usually means good things are coming.
So,
yeah.
In this book thing, you actually...
There's 2 questions. Go ahead.
Are buying the books to resell. If I understand correctly, you're buying the books to resell, you're storing the books, you're actually doing the marketing, collecting the money, and then turning around and shipping everything out, 1 book at a time.
Yep. Every day I go, well, not every day, but 3 times a week, I go through the orders, and we put them in an envelope and put a label on them and ship them out, and I'm the one that gets yelled at when they don't show up at their doorstep, and... I'm the one that gets the praises when they're all excited. So it's a lot of work being self-published. But at the same time, we had a publisher, and it was just as much work, and we didn't get paid near as much. So we're like, we'll do it ourselves. So. And
we've tried to get other people to hold and ship the books, but one place we tried, it was just eating us alive in expenses for... Yeah. And storing the books.
Okay, well, so, Sherry says we have a couple questions, so I'll let her jump in here.
I'll answer one real quick. B-Lady on here, just since we're on the publishing thing real quick, she said, who's your publisher? We are our publishers. So we did all the editing, all the typesetting, everything. Then we went to a book printer and forked over the thousands of dollars to have the books printed. And then they bring them to our garage, and we ship them out. So we are our publisher. We're self-published.
Wow.
Which is somewhat complicated.
I guess.
They asked me if you were
Which is why most of our books are in ebooks now.
Okay, leave it there.
Well, at least the storage is a little easier.
Well, we had a question. Let me go back to Coco Noel asked, do you use earwax for lip balm?
No.
That doesn't even sound appetizing, does it? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah. Mike. Exactly. Like,
it's convenient. It's always with you, right?
Well, she said it was something on the... She said it was one of the suggestions sent into Tightwad Gazette. That's why she asked it.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember reading that. I believe it, but no. I'm not that tight.
Yeah, trashed or treasures is one thing, but that's something you just don't. No. Yeah. And they also asked about the lady holding the money on your logo, and someone said that was a younger you, Tara.
Yeah, Joanne asked who made the logo.
Right.
For that, we actually bought a an illustration from a stock photo site, and then I heavily modified it because we paid for the rights to use the image, but we changed a lot of it because it was a lady doing something else. I forgot. And we changed her hair color, we changed her outfit, and we changed the fact that she was holding something else, and we made it the money. So I
think she was holding a spatula.
Yeah, so we took an existing illustration that we bought from a stock photo company, and then I modified it in Photoshop. So
she did a
video actually
last week.
It does very much resemble the looks we were trying for on previous drawings.
We'll try it this week.
Well,
it is interesting. I noticed, let's see, I lost the comment, but someone said, I'm old-fashioned. I really like the print books.
How do they know?
I totally agree. I've read one ebook in my entire life.
She remembered you from 2 weeks ago.
Print books are a lot better, but from a money-making standpoint, we did not sell enough print books that it was worth the extra work to do it. So when we were selling all the print books, all the other
just doing print books,
yeah. And so we are looking into trying to get Amazon into printing them, but that's a very complicated process also, and we keep having stuff blow up and we can't get to it. So
the cookbook is really popular because of the spiral binding, and Amazon will not do that.
Yeah.
So our other books that don't need the spiral, we could probably have printed there, and we're kind of working in that direction.
Yeah.
So Amazon is dictating what books they'll sell.
No. So if we do, they have a thing called print on demand, where the profit margin is a lot lower for the publisher because they have to actually they have to print it after you order it and send it out the next day. But print on demand doesn't allow you to have the spiral binding that makes it lay flat.
Yeah.
Like this right here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So they just have regular paperback book binding.
Sure.
And that doesn't really work for the cookbook. We had the cookbook like that once and nobody liked it. But for the other books we have people ask for sometimes, and we thought that would be a good way to distribute it because some of them are really popular at certain seasons and not popular at all at other seasons. The cookbooks are consistently popular, so those were more likely to print at the regular printer. But for Amazon, we would be able to get them all in print, so people could have them. It's just that the setup process for it is pretty time consuming.
Yeah.
And we have had problems selling our cookbook on Amazon because it's such a bureaucracy that there's no process for us to identify ourselves as the publishers.
Sure.
So, and the Goodwill in some places
get in here so they can see you.
$500.
Now you can wave.
They'll promote theirs and not ours.
Wave. No, your hand have to go higher. Get your hand out higher.
For those in the chat, it's our granddaughter that's hugging on Cher there. She's
some of them here saw her 2 weeks ago, so
she's a cutie.
They're one of them waved to her, and she's the shy one. We figure Kaylee's the one that'll be on the front of the motorcycle, driving it, steering it, and her 11-year-old sister Celia will be the one on the back with the tiara, going like this. True to form. Yes, ma'am. True to form. That's the two of them. Mm-hmm.
So we have her for the week this week. So she's
child labor. Finally.
Yeah.
You know, it stinks when you're when you're an empty nester. You don't know. You know, you have to wait till somebody comes over to do the work.
So let's get away from living on a dime for just a moment here. What kind of hobbies y'all like or do, or anything you go to watch baseball games or automobile racing or motorcycle racing or
work? I do gardening, although as a lot of people know, I'm taking out my garden this year because I'm really worn out with it. But I do gardening and I make soap for a hobby and I read. We like to watch movies a lot. We do that a lot.
Okay, is that in-house or do you go out to a movie theater and buy the $5 popcorn? And
mostly on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
But sometimes we get movies from the library or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Mike and the kids will go hiking a lot.
We do it a lot.
We live in Colorado in the Rocky Mountains, and not too far from Rocky Mountain National Park. So
we frequently do maybe 10 or 12 hikes in the summer season.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun. And we also, on a lot of weekends as a family, we'll go up to the Rocky Mountain National Park to a favorite spot we have and just kind of hang out for the day. We did that yesterday, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Very nice. Very interesting. But, and this is the kind of stuff nobody knows, but they kind of wonder in the back of their mind.
We have no life outside the business. I mean, it does suck a lot of our. It's not a 4-hour work week by any ways, but it does take a lot. Like all last Saturday, until 1 o'clock or something, Mike was editing the magnet video. So we're trying to get out of that and have actual kids in.
But partly, we had some time this season where we weren't able to work as much. Ellie and I were in Ireland for a better part of April. That was a lot of fun, but it caused a big backflow of work. We got back, and then we were in Minnesota for a couple weeks, and that also causes the work to,
backs up, and then it's real tough to get caught up.
Totally.
Yeah, which is why we're not on Amazon for the print books and stuff, because it just takes so much time and get it all done.
But we're kind of moving forward on all those things, though. So there are other things. I used to play video games, and then I stopped for a long time. But our teenage boys were asking me to play with them, and I was thinking, I don't have time for that. And finally, I thought, wait a minute, they're actually asking me to do something with them. So I kind of picked it up again. So, and then we, ride bikes and different things like that. So.
Well, and your kids have grown up with the internet, so to speak. So.
And they've actually grown up with it being kind of the family business from really the beginning, because the internet was introduced to the public in 95, and in 96 we were doing business on it. So they don't really know not having that.
Well, in 1995, I had a bulletin board system, an old DOS-based bulletin board system. This was pre-internet.
I remember those.
Pre-AOL.
Pre-AOL, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember calling into the BBSs on dial-up and having the whole text thing going up that looked like pictures. And I remember when they announced the internet, I thought, I like this kind of thing, but that's never going to catch on. That's only for geeks like me.
I thought the same
and
thing.
And here we are 20 years later.
I saw a thing on the news where they said, this new thing called the internet, you're going to be able to order airline tickets while you're getting a recipe on your computer or in your kitchen. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. Who's going to do that? And here I'm the one giving the recipe.
Well,
we thought,
and you're selling to boot.
Daryl and I met because of his bulletin board. So we met because of the internet.
That was pre-internet.
Yeah, that was pre-internet. You're right. Yeah.
I used to love those bulletin boards, but it never gave me pause to think about who it was that actually hosted them.
Yeah, I had 6 phone lines coming into the house, a bank of 28 baud modems.
Wow.
I was very sophisticated.
He's one of the original computer geeks.
I had a one.
So
28 baud modems.
He does truly know what he's talking about when it comes to computers.
Yeah, had 6 of them.
28.8. Okay, because I do remember the 28.8 and the 14.4, and I think 300 was when I started visiting.
Yeah, I had those too, but like I said, I had the latest and greatest at that time that I could afford anyway. And and that was 28.8 modems and 6 of them coming in on a rollover line, and so it was a partial T1 is what it was.
That's pretty impressive.
And then that evolved into, we actually myself and another fellow, we did an internet business, a provider, and the way we did that, for every 200 subscriptions rather, we would prescriptions. I guess you have to have a prescription. You're nuts to do this. But for every 200 subscriptions that we got, we ordered another T1 line. So at that time, 200 people calling in would be serviced by a single T1 line.
And that's slow internet now.
Yeah.
People couldn't stand that nowadays.
Okay.
Well, I think your BBS was like this, but I was telling the kids the other day, I used to have a limit of 5 emails, and each one could have 10 lines of 70 characters. That was the daily allowance.
We don't even want to talk about emails. We won't go into that. I'm sure their email box has to blow mine away, and I know mine is terrible. Angie's Pantry is asking, how many years has Living on a Dime been working on their videos?
Well, on the videos, mostly 2 years.
Yeah, we've been doing videos every day for not quite 2 years. What? But we started doing videos in 2007, and then when we thought, oh, this YouTube thing's not going to be anything, and then we quit and then did that. We've been doing the website. I started writing the book 20 years ago, and we've had it in print for 18 years. And so, yeah, continually, actually, for a self-published author, we're like, I didn't know this until just recently. We're like at the very, very top, I guess. I don't feel successful, but we're like at the very top. I guess most self-published authors are considered, what, good, successful, if they sell 5,000 books or more and last more than a year. And we've been going for 18 years, and we've sold over 500,000 copies. So I was like, wow, I'm impressed with myself, and I didn't even think I was doing that good.
It doesn't feel that impressive.
Feel like it.
Well, you have any more questions? You need to get to them right away?
Not yet, no. Okay,
well, let's just take a real quick break here because it's that time.
Oh, 9:29. Melissa Smith's grabbing cocktails, so it's okay.
Okay, it's our trivia time. This is where Two Family Homestead is going to send the correct answer to this question a $2 bill. And the rules are as follows. You can only win once every 4 weeks. Must be the first person to answer the question correctly within the chat window. And you must send us an email with your address within 48 hours. That email address is twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. So,
and Mom can't answer the question.
I'm sorry, Jill.
Okay, so question number 1. What is the original name of Dining on a Dime cookbook?
Gave it away a minute ago.
See if anybody pushed the arrow. See if anybody gets it.
Looking for it.
Yeah.
Mindy Watkins.
Mindy was first.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bandana was.
Okay, Mindy, we need for you to send an email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. Just send us your address, and we'll be getting a $2 bill out in the mail to you.
Cool.
Now, folks, I think Sherry told you.
You know who the diehard watchers are.
I think Sherry told you at the beginning.
Some people that have been with us the entire time from when I first started. 18 years.
That's incredible. You've got a huge following, very loyal people.
It's crazy.
And as Sherry mentioned, Living on a Dime is actually going to give away 2. Am I right?
Yeah.
2 books. Dining on a Dime cookbook. All you have to do is pay shipping and handling of $55.
And that goes.
That even pay the shipping.
That goes here.
You're quoting Amazon prices there.
Somebody had our book on eBay. Was it eBay or Amazon? For $800? I'm like, man.
Incredible. So,
where do I get that?
Before I put this question up, I do need to ask: is there any kind of restrictions? I mean, is this continental United States or?
Yeah, probably the U.S. since shipping is so high out of the country. Probably U.S. Yeah.
Bandana wants a recount.
Okay, so the question, and this is from Living on a Dime, and should these people contact you by email or what?
They can go to livingonadime.com and click the contact, and tell me they won. Yeah.
Okay.
And if I get more than 2 people, I'll know somebody's lying.
Okay, so this is the question for the cookbook from Living on a Dime. What did Mike do before living on a dime?
Exactly, the Jeopardy.
Better not go too far into that.
He sold earwax.
Yeah, Coco says earwax.
Is that what they're saying?
Coco's the one who asked it.
Mindy got it again. Oh, Becky got it first, though.
Worked
Becky
at
got
PBS.
it. It looks like.
Okay, PBS, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. A number of people got it right, but Becky was first.
Yeah.
I was TV producer, and PBS was one of the places where I was.
Yeah. Becky, 0512. You need to go to Living on a Dime website, click on contact, and get a hold of them. Tell them that you were the winner.
See, Becky has a habit of always being first. When she's like the first person to comment most of the time on our show.
She holds her fingers on the keyboard and just waits.
But I'm pretty impressed with the people that actually remember that.
Okay. So
I actually did work at
and she's giving it to her daughter since she already has one.
Ooh,
Cool
yay.
beans. Nice
deal. Okay, so we'll do another set of questions here after we chat a bit further. So
cool.
So anything else interesting going on in Colorado? I think we got 4 inches of rain here today.
Oh, we beg for rain out here. Rain is something we don't know what it is here. It's last year I think we got 2 good rainstorms, and we miss rain, but we don't miss the humidity that goes with it.
Yeah, we'd like to see more real trees, but real trees come with a lot of humidity. We're not too sure. We've actually had this discussion on our show lately. Like, do we really need to stay here? I don't know. I mean, the mountains are nice. They're really nice, but we don't go up in them nearly often enough.
Yeah.
And we actually used to live in Estes Park, Colorado, right at the Rocky Mountain National Park.
Yeah.
But that was years ago, and it wouldn't work out so well with the kids.
So are you?
Yeah, everybody hollers. Well, they don't holler, but I mean, every now and then we'll get, somebody. Well, you're not real homesteaders. Well, we aren't at the moment homesteaders, but I've had chickens, and we've lived where we've had to drive 70 miles to get groceries. Mike had to drive 100 miles to go to work. So we've lived, it's kind of funny. We aren't homesteaders, and we've never done all homesteading at once, but we've done all these pieces of homesteading in all these places that we've lived.
Well, a lot of it was just necessity. Because
we'll do the homesteading once we get that acreage in Wisconsin, right?
Exactly. Yes, Brad and Krista are going to be having us at their door on August 8th.
Yeah.
Some of the things were just homesteading by necessity. Like we were in a remote location at one point, which I think I'm not going to say exactly where yet.
Yeah.
And at that time, we lived in a place where we had a pipe freeze out in the yard in the wintertime, and we called around, and we could not get anyone to come to fix it.
We were spewing water everywhere.
So I had to do a MacGyver thing, and I had absolutely no experience and no confidence in my repair abilities at all. And that kind of launched me into that. And we did a lot of that sort of stuff, which was very close to homesteading.
Yeah.
Mike, they want to know why you left PBS.
Didn't pay enough. Well, so I actually was at 3 different PBS stations and some other places worked for a university and stuff along the way. But initially, I was at stations where we were doing national network programs, and they were kind of fun. And a lot of times we got to go places, and it was exciting. My last station, I liked it, but it was mostly public affairs. So like talking about local politics and things. And that just didn't, it was kind of soul crushing. So, but we did do some kind of cool things there too. But eventually the business outpaced the pay that I was making there, because TV is the kind of place where people work there to say they did, and they don't get paid very well. So
It's a resume builder.
Yeah, and it was cool as a resume builder when we were in the Pacific Northwest and they were sending us to British Columbia and out hiking around in Oregon and Washington and stuff, and paying us for that. And when my cousin in other state would see my name in the credits of one of the shows that we did. But when the shows were not very exciting and a lot of stress and low pay, it made me think, could we make living on a dime a little more successful?
Well, one of the hot topics now in the homesteading crowd is the tiny houses. I mean, do you have any desire for like a tiny house, one for you and two for your books?
Well, actually,
Two for our books.
well, what's so funny about that is just the other day, there's this corner in our town, and someone has all these little sheds. But Mike and I were looking at them like, wait a minute, we could have one little shed for a tiny house for the office, one shed in the middle for the shipping area, and then one on the other side for my soap, and then have the garage back up to the shipping area, and we could just have both things going in there. I'm like, this is great. But we had actually seriously considered, because we would like to get out with some acreage, or at least an acre away from people. We live in the suburbs now, and neighbors drive us nuts. And so just the noise from dogs barking and lawnmowers and everything. And so we had thought about getting, because we have 5 kids, so we had thought about getting a small, like 2 or 3 bedroom house, but getting 3 or 4 tiny houses for all the teenagers to have their own tiny house, and then they could just drive away when they could.
Also,
See ya.
talked about having,
Yeah.
we'd also talked about having not a tiny house, but maybe 400 square feet that was kind of our house, and then have a larger building nearby that's finished on the inside in one large room with the fireplace and stuff that we could, when the kids come over and bring their kids or whatever in the future, we're assuming we're going to have grandkids. We better have grandkids.
Didn't go to work.
We would turn on the
Did
power.
you didn't have them sign the contract years ago for that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We thought it'd be cool to have a separate building like that, though, that we could then, whenever family's going to come over, we could turn on that building and instantly expand the house to accommodate them coming over.
We could have a studio back there and everything. So we have really thought outside the box. I mean, really gone outside the box, because prices here in Colorado have gone berserk. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. We're looking
silly how much people pay for houses.
We're looking at houses in Colorado, and they're on 1 acre, and they need $100,000 worth of work, and they're going for $550,000. We're like, this is ridiculous.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we had thought about the tiny. We seriously had thought about the tiny house thing for the kids, because we have older teenagers. Well, not older, but I mean, yeah, I guess older teenagers. We have 19, 18, and 18. And we thought, rent is $1,200 for a studio 1-bedroom apartment here. And we thought, that would be a really good way for them to go. And then we thought, if they leave the tiny house, we could rent out the tiny houses for Airbnb or something. Yeah. Have our own little living on a dime retreat.
It reminds me of the hotels from years ago where they had all the little cabins along the road, rather than that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
If we could just choose to do that, that would be something that would be appealing to us. Although we had an experience a long time ago where we bought a house in an area that wasn't growing very well, and it was an unusual house, and we're a little sensitive now to, if we ever want to move again, we might not be able to sell it.
Because 2 of our houses, we lost. Well, one house we had to write a check for $8,000 for someone to buy our house when we lived in Idaho, and then in Kansas we had we got what we paid for it, but we had put in $15,000 because the sewer. The day we moved in, the sewer died.
Septic.
Septic went out on us. And so we lost 20,000 total with closing costs and everything. So we had 2 houses where we had huge major losses. So now we're like paranoid about buying houses.
So we think a little more. So if we do this, if we create something that's very unusual, like a tiny house, like compound, would we be able to sell it if we ever needed to move? Although we'd like to never move again, but we're not there yet.
So that's why we've been looking in places like Ohio and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, because we were thinking, man, we could sell our house here and pay cash almost or a very small mortgage out there. But I don't know. Our kids are kind of settled, so we'll see.
Yeah, you're in a rough age there with your kids.
Yeah, and our teens every other day they're like, "Let's go." "Oh no, I'm staying." "Let's go." "I'm staying."
So, you mean on the moving thing?
Yeah, on the older ones.
Oh, you mean on us moving somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, part of the issue here is they're at the age where they're thinking, how am I going to afford to buy a house someday? Because right now, our oldest is looking at renting with some of his friends, renting a house that somebody's family owns all together.
Yeah.
But someday, you know, if they're going to get married or something, they're not going to want to have 3 other roommates in addition to that. And so cost-wise, they're thinking, how are we going to afford this? Because in Colorado, a cheap starter home is 300.
Wow.
Yeah. Colorado's like California was 10, 15 years ago now. It's sad.
Well, you know, there's still deals out there. Maybe not in Colorado, but I mean, there are still deals out there.
Well, that's why we've looked in other places.
Yeah, we had thought about making a road trip out there in the next week or 2 to Ohio and Pennsylvania just to check it out, just to see. Because we've been back east to Wisconsin once, but didn't really get to see a whole lot. So we were thinking, man, maybe we should just go check it out. And I don't know, we'll see.
Well, if you do get to Ohio, you let us know.
Oh, I already mentioned that. We were chopped liver in that conversation.
I totally spaced you guys were in Ohio. I knew that, but I totally spaced it because I thought, you know, we could go see Big Family first, or not necessarily first, but we could go see Big Family. We could go see Bandana Grandma and Homestead Tessie, and then she was like, "What, are we chopped liver?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, we could go see you guys too."
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you see Big Family first, you would just have to come up, and then we would be next. Then you could.
Are you guys close?
Then you can work your way up.
2.5 hours.
Yeah,
from
work
us
your way
right
up
now.
to Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know, but now we've got a couple of things. We have a huge tax bill due this week, and then we got some vet bills. So now we're like, well, are we going to have the money to go? And that's part of it. Our whole thing is don't do things unless you have the money. And for us moving, we'd really like to leave Colorado, but it's not really financially what am I trying to say? We don't want we want to move in Colorado. That would be fine, but we can't afford the houses here. So we're just not going to do it. And sometimes you have to say no to those things, even though you'd really want to do it, and just stay put for a while until you can get in a better position. So
because we've been kind of looking around here, and we'd have to triple what we owe on our mortgage, to get something a little bit better. So we're thinking maybe we should stay where we are for now.
We want to get our house paid off, not more debt. So
yeah,
that can eat you alive.
Yeah, it really can. And even though actually our first 5 years we were married, we had some credit card debt and medical bills. But since we got that paid off, we've never had any car loans. We've had no credit card debt, no home equity loans. It has only been our mortgage. And it's only been our mortgage half of what the bank said that we could afford, because we always wanted to be in the position where if Mike loses his job, which has happened many times, that we could still have a place to live and, afford the rent. So,
yeah, we don't like to push everything to the maximum.
Yeah, Sullivan said being a grown-up with grown-up responsibilities is such a drag. It is at times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody asked if we live in the mountains. We live right in front of the mountains.
Yeah.
But not in the mountains.
We used to live in the mountains.
We used to live in the mountains, and it was nice. But it would have been a lot of traveling all the time with the kids, up and down the mountain every couple of days, which would have been really hard.
Okay. Any more questions there? That you're
Not
catching up
that I
on?
know. Yeah, they've been catching them.
Okay, well let's do this then one more time.
You have to have some sort of dancing lady on.
Some sort of dancing lady, huh? Okay, our $2 trivia, question number 2. Go over the rules one more time. You can only win once every 4 weeks. Must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window. And you must send us an email with your address within 48 hours. And send that email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. So question number 2. How many years has Dining on a Dime been in print?
Uh-oh. 57.
57.
Will answered before the question came out.
Oh.
That's funny. 20.
No.
Is that right?
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
P. Tebow got it.
yeah.
P. Tebow.
18 years.
There were
Okay.
others that came after that, but P. Tebow looks
Yeah.
like that was first.
So it's been
She was
in
first.
print for 18 years, but I started writing it 20 years ago.
Okay, P. Tebow. Need to send us an email, twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. And in the mail, you will receive an envelope with a $2 bill.
Don't spend it all in one spot.
No, I'd save it. Might be worth $2 one day.
Yeah. Oh, Danny and Wanda are on there. I didn't
Yes,
think
they
about
are.
that.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
Wanda came in earlier. Mm-hmm.
How did I miss that one?
So, do you guys want to do your other giveaway now, or you want to wait?
Okay, go for it. Sure.
Yeah.
Dining on a Dime
Okay.
Cookbook.
Now we're doing one for Dining on a Dime cookbook.
Yeah, this is Dining on a Dime cookbook. This is from Dining on a Dime. So the rules that we had up before don't really apply, other than the fact you have to be the first one to answer the question correctly in the chat. And then you contact Dining on a Dime. Go to Dining on a Dime, livingonadime.com website and click the contact.
Hold on just a
Did
second.
I say that right?
Yes, you did, but can you hold on one second? So all the people who are hearing it after they see the answers, hit refresh. We'll give you a minute or so.
Yes.
Hit refresh, and it should catch up again.
Oh, because they don't hear the question.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they could be lagging. Exactly.
Yeah.
150 years. Asher Anna has it. 150 years.
What's funny
I'm older
is,
than I look.
okay, so here's a bonus question. while we're
Did you
waiting.
shave this morning, Mike?
Yeah. Here's a bonus question while we're waiting for everybody to refresh. What's the subtitle of Not Just Beans?
Wait, what's the bonus? What do they get for answering the bonus
Nothing.
question?
They're just answering it.
Aw,
Just to
come
see if
on.
anybody knows it. Because there's a story to that when they said the 150. Let's see, does anybody know?
Do you think everybody's had a chance to refresh yet?
Maybe not.
I know.
David Cooper. No, David.
Nobody knows.
Got real quiet.
The lights grandma did how grandma says.
Wow, nobody knows. Okay, so go ahead, my brother. You can go ahead and tell them. And I'll tell the story real quick while everybody's refreshing on that.
We're related now.
This isn't the official
Cool.
question, by the way.
Oh, maybe he'll get it on there.
Wait, do we want to answer the dining in a dime? Oh, no, wait, that's the previous
Yeah.
one. Oh.
So, okay, so my brother's not listening to me.
Becky
Yeah,
got it.
Becky got it. 50 years of frugal family favorites.
She
So
probably pulled out her copy.
she probably did.
But didn't Becky get the first one?
Well, yeah, but just that was
Yeah,
not for
just
anything.
say-
Oh, that okay. Gotcha. Okay,
That's just a fun.
that's right.
That's a warm-up question.
No,
There's a
Will.
story to
No,
that.
Will. This isn't the game where you can call somebody to get the answer.
Yeah. You see, what happened
Phone a
was,
friend.
phone a friend. That's funny. She Googled it.
There we
So
go.
what happened was, I took my mom and my grandma and my great grandma and my recipes. That's all the recipes that are in here. And so there really is probably close to 100 years old recipes that are in this book.
I forgot.
That's what I want to do. I have my mother's, I have my grandmother's, my aunt's. Yeah, I have them all in my Word documents.
Yeah.
It wasn't Money Matters, the Larry Burkett, one of our first radio interviews.
Yeah. And so I have almost...
I just remembered because that
Google search was faster than looking in the book. That's what she just said.
So anyway, that was the story. When she said 150 years, there is almost, I would say probably 100-year-old recipes in there. I'm sure a couple of them have to be. So
we can ask the real question.
Anyway, okay, so go ahead and ask the real question.
Okay, here's the real question for the Dining on a Dime cookbook. And like I said, you have to go to their website, tell them you won. If you're the winner, we'll announce that. And it is, name another state Mike and Tara have lived in.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
We talk about it all the time.
And if you were in their live stream tonight.
Kansas.
Got one.
Bandana Grandma.
So starting at Bandana Grandma, everybody got it. Well,
everybody's typing. Look at that screen move.
Yep. Bandana got it first. Double checking.
Kansas was one of them. Yep.
Wow, they got them all right. Kansas, Texas, Idaho. You guys got it.
But then some other people like Joy Marie said Washington. We did not live there, but I worked there.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, Bandana, you need to go to the livingonadime.com website, click the contact button, send them a message that you are the winner from tonight's show.
There you go.
What's funny is Kansas was our most recent state, but Idaho is the one we talk about the most in our business because it's really where it really changed us, I think. It's kind of where we had the near homesteading experience because it's really a really remote part of the states in the specific area. In Idaho
Everything you hear about Idaho is true.
Well, a lot of places in Alaska are much like where we were in Idaho, so
yeah. All the constitutionalists. Mike worked at the county. Tell him what your boss said the first day of work about you're not.
Oh, I was hired as the county commercial appraiser, and she said, when you're out and you're going to a place and you see some things growing on somebody's property, just remember you're not law enforcement. And when people would come in and change the titles on all their things to fictitious organizations, and they would say, just take the paperwork, you're not law enforcement. And it's funny because
and if it's a funny looking green plant, don't say anything.
And now we're in Colorado and you can get it everywhere.
But I wasn't the slightest bit intimidated myself, but people would come into the courthouse with all their weapons. And I know in certain parts of the country people would completely freak out about that.
Yeah.
But it was just but it was a nice place though. We liked Idaho. It was different. Yeah. It was different. The people communication style there was different than what we were accustomed to. So we didn't understand how much some people liked us until we were leaving.
We had absolutely no friends while we were there. But
should we tell a story about the witness?
Oh, but yeah. So Mike told his boss, they were like, "Why did you move to Idaho?" And we literally just picked it on the map because we wanted someplace cool and cheap to move to.
And remote with mountains.
Yeah. And he told his boss, he said, "Oh, I'm in the witness protection program."
Oh my.
And we lived in this town of 400 and we think they actually believed us.
I was totally joking. But we started later on hearing rumors around town about those people that are in the witness protection.
Oh my gosh!
And we lived there, I think.
Well, they were like, "Why would a TV producer move here?"
Yeah, and we lived there like 3 years, and we had no friends at all. And as soon as we were leaving to pack up and leave, all these people kind of like came out. "Oh, you guys are the nicest couple. We're gonna miss you." We're like, "Who are you people and how do you know us?" And they must have been watching us, I guess. I don't know. It was the funniest thing. So.
Oh, Melissa was asking how much is the cookbook with shipping because she says maybe it's on eBay.
$800, I heard.
Dime.com and get it there, and it'll be less expensive than eBay.
Yeah. And I think we're. Oh.
I
So I think I shouldn't announce this, but I guess we are now. We were thinking about doing a Christmas in July sale. So if you guys want to wait.
Tara announces things on the show that I find out I'm going to have to do in a big hurry.
Oh, sort of like being on the live stream tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
I saw the look on his face. He goes, what?
We are?
We are?
Oops, forgot to tell you, dear. So the end of the month, around the 24th, we were thinking about doing a Christmas in July sale. So if you want to save some money, you might be able to do that.
Well, Alma says Austin, Texas, and she's right, although it must be a little bit behind for her.
Yeah, Mike used to. We used to live in Austin. So
that's been a while ago.
Angie's Pantry wants to know on one of our videos, where did we get the Sonic dog barker thing? Amazon. There's a link in our YouTube video that you can use, and it works pretty good. So, yeah. My
daughter got one of the similar ones like you had. It looked like a little house. She got hers at Walmart.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't know they had them there.
Oh, yeah. Ours doesn't carry them. Oh, that's good to know. Well,
Yeah.
I'll send people there, too, because that's great to know. It's been a lifesaver for us. Oh, man.
Most of the time.
My sanity.
Amazon Dime is in town.
What'd you say?
Amazon Prime move over. Amazon Dime is in town.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, I'm surprised our dogs haven't barked once tonight. That's very unusual.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I have chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. I have chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, and I don't know what it is with noise. But oh my goodness, if I hear dogs barking, I don't mind dogs barking, like, you know, if something's happening or whatever. But we live in a cul-de-sac, and we have 14 dogs behind us in the 6 houses. And when they all get to going, I just want to go crawl in a hole. Oh, yeah.
I encourage mine just to tick the neighbors off.
Yeah. That's probably what they're doing to us.
Yeah, we have 5 big dogs. I mean, you saw Smudge's face on the front of our, that's the puppy. He's the biggest, and he's the puppy. Yeah.
But Danny and Wanda said maybe they don't really know who we are because you were in the witness protection program.
Well, I thought what was funny is, it was just funny because people would ask and I would say, yeah, I was joking. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, actually there were, I don't know. It was fun being out there because we were the only people that had moved into a place where everybody had left.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was fun being in a town like that.
Yeah.
But when we had, actually after having the 2 kids that we had while we lived there, we started having problems. Like, well, our daughter, she had some medical problems and we had to get stuff for her right now at the store. Well, the store was 70 miles away. So.
At midnight, we had to go. He had to go.
So I started making Gilligan's Island jokes and saying, you know, we have to get back to civilization.
Yeah.
So
I think it was Ashley said, the heat is on. How do I handle my fibromyalgia? I really don't get a lot done.
When it's hot?
Yeah. The heat just, that's why we moved to Colorado from Kansas, because the heat just really does me in. And even in Colorado, even running the air conditioner, it must be something with the pressure. I don't know, but I just get physically ill when it gets above 80, and I just don't really do a whole lot, so I don't handle it. And you guys see me on the live shows and you see me on the videos. What you don't see is the background with the laundry piled everywhere and me laying on the couch saying, I'm going to die, just dig a hole in the garden, roll me in. So, yeah.
But we did say at one point, we have to make sure we always budget for air conditioning because if it gets above 80, she just looks like a lobster and doesn't feel good at all and lays there like she's dying.
Yeah. we have air here also. There's no way I would survive off grid. No way at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, if I was off grid in the mountains or something, that might be okay, but not in any place, you know, where it's easy to work with kids and stuff. So
yeah.
Well, I know I was watching somebody had some videos talking about they were doing off grid with air conditioning, all solar.
What?
That Starry.
No, it wasn't Story. That's not the one I was.
Oh, because she had one on the other day.
Oh, Life in a Box, Living in a Box, something like that. All right.
I would love to go off grid. I really would. I would love to go off grid. Because I think there is something, I know I sound crazy, and I'm going to sound like I'm a lunatic, but I think there is something in the electricity that affects my fibromyalgia or my CFS, one or the other. I'm not sure which. But when the power goes out here, it just feels like my whole body just relaxes. And it's the craziest thing. Like, we had the power out in Kansas for 2 weeks. And we were staying at my brother's, but we would go over to our house, and it's like, it's so quiet and peaceful. And I don't know if it's just everything humming or if it's, I don't know what it is, but I would love to go off grid. But my key won't, I won't convince him.
Okay, so just totally off topic, the name of this other channel, and I stumbled across them. And I'm going to try to get a hold of them and see if we can get them on our show here. But it's Life Inside a Box.
I haven't heard of them.
Life Inside a Box. They are in Arizona. They are off-grid. They live in a tiny home, and it's all solar. It's a pretty incredible setup.
Wow.
See, our oldest son, he kept asking me when he was 13. He said, "Mom, buy me this." I'm like, "Okay, buy me this." And he kept buying all these weird parts like converters and I don't know, all this electrical stuff. And I didn't think anything about it. Later on, I'm like, wait a minute, he could be making a bomb. And then one day he comes upstairs and he says, "Okay, Mom, my room's off grid."
What?
And we're like, what? He said, "Yeah, I just made my whole room off grid." And he had built his own solar setup for his room. And took his room off grid, and he took it to the science fair, and he won that year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He was homeschooled that year, and they didn't want to give it to him because he was homeschooled, and we were allowed to participate with the local school district, but they were like, "Yeah, he's not part of our district." And
doesn't matter. Good for him.
Yeah. I think he could probably get us off grid fairly easy, and he keeps talking about it, but I don't know if we'll ever get a place that we can do it. I don't know. I'm like everybody else. AC to me is wonderful.
Yeah, camping to my father would have been a Holiday Inn.
Yeah. No, I do like camping. But see, here in Colorado, when you're in the mountains, it's actually cool. So it's nice camping here. It's not like in Kansas where you go camping and it's 100 degrees and 100% humidity. And you're like, why am I sitting out here spending all this money to live like a homeless person? This is not fun.
B Lady is asking you folks if you live near power lines.
It's about a mile.
No, but we live near a lot of houses that are close together. Yeah. And I do think, from what I do notice also when the power goes out, it's like a big exhale. But I think it seems like everything makes a lot of little noises, like the lights make noises and the fridge makes noise. And a lot of those noises are barely audible. But when everything stops, you realize, wow, it's quiet.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, we had Julie, Dirt Patch Heaven on, was it last week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just last week. And what most people that were watching the show didn't even realize is that she was doing that via a lantern. She's off grid. And her light for, that she was inside the house, and the light she had was from a lantern. So, off grid with Doug and Stacy, if you're in here, you've got no excuse about it being too dark or anything. We know you got lanterns, so.
Here we've got our massive lights going on.
Yeah, we have found with us looking at places to live now, we do have to be careful since our whole livelihood is on the internet. I mean, We're kind of in a quandary. I would love to go off grid, but our whole livelihood is the internet.
Yes.
So we have to be careful places we buy to make sure we have that access.
Yeah, off grid with 100 meg pipe. So what's the future plans for living on a dime? What's
Planning is not my strong suit. Yeah. Well, right now we're working on another Dining on a Dime cookbook that is actively in process.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working on that, and I am working on a gluten-free kind of ebook type thing, which will have some recipes. It's not going to be a huge gluten-free cookbook, but it'll be kind of an informational thing for people who get told, oh, you have to go gluten-free. It's really not. It seems like it's really complicated, but it's really pretty easy if you just get the basics down.
And if you don't buy the pre-made things.
Yeah, if you don't buy the pre-made stuff. And so those are the 2 book projects that we have going on right now. And then
See, Ramona knows you.
Ramona knows I don't plan. Yeah, I'm one of those people that, I'm not kidding. It'll be an hour before the show, and Mike's like, what are we doing for the show? And I don't know. I had Bandana Grandma pan me the show the other day, live on her show. So,
Tara fires off 7 shots before she aims. So.
I do. It's so sad. So right now we've got those 2 book projects that we're working on. And then, I don't know, I guess just keep doing live shows. So.
Yeah, I mean, eventually we don't really know. Well, and especially with the kids and flux and everything, because a lot of it has been around the family lately. But eventually, if we move somewhere with larger piece of property, we might do more things like we used to do.
So Bandana Grandma has it right. Tara's not a bad planner. I just work well under pressure.
You try to go what's into it.
What? No, it's true. Yeah. I don't know. Poor Jamie, one of our viewers, who actually moved by us, and now we're really good friends. She keeps trying to help me get planned and organized. She made me this gorgeous binder for my birthday that's coming up in a couple of weeks. She made me this gorgeous binder, and I'm like, I can't use it. I keep trying, but I keep trying. I'm using it a little bit, but I don't plan very well.
Yeah, I would lose the binder.
Well, that's
around here.
Place to put it, and I lose it, and then I forget. Like, I'm one of those people. I write a list, and then I forget where my list is.
Yeah.
So.
You're just prepping for old age.
Yeah.
So you are a prepper.
You can now put that in your bio.
Yeah.
Okay, just to make everybody aware. Just to make everybody aware, we've gone a little over an hour. It's up to Mike and Tara if they want to stick around a little bit. It's totally up to them. But we're having a good time, and we'll just kind of leave it up to them, whatever they want to do.
I don't care. I don't know if anybody else has any questions or anything. We'd be happy to answer them. Yeah, Deep South Homestead, they have to live gluten-free. Yeah. They probably know what I'm talking about. Once you kind of figure out the gluten-free, lingo, secrets, I don't know how you would call it. It's really not as hard as it seems. But yeah, and Ramona says, I think that's part of the fibro. You can't plan ahead. Actually, that's part of my problem. Is with the chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, it's very hard to plan to do anything because I never know when I'm going to be feeling sick or when I'm not. And like vacations and stuff, I almost go into a panic. We've only gone on like 2 vacations or something, maybe 3, but I almost go into a panic trying to plan a vacation because I just think, okay, what if I'm not feeling good? And then when we do go do that stuff, it's really hard on me, and so that's part of my problem.
And that's partly why Ellie and I went alone too, right?
Yeah.
Because one year Tara said, "I'm just going to completely collapse. I need a break. I want to go away for a month. Is that okay?" I was thinking,
sure,
like tomorrow. But anyway, we sent her into the mountains to this place where we had stayed before, and it was a family hotel, and they gave us a really good month rate for Tara to stay the whole month. And unfortunately, we thought it would make her have a major recovery, but she kept saying, "Doc Holliday was here sitting in the hot springs," and I said, "Doc Holliday died here
a few years back. Years back.
But she did get to rest, and that was nice, I think. Yeah. But then when Ellie and I went on our trip, we were just run the whole time, and we just completely wore ourselves out.
It is hard because just doing regular things like going to the grocery store or going to church, I mean, it makes me physically ill going to church. And that sounds horrible, but it really does. And so it's really hard, you know, to plan all those kinds of things. But sorry, I don't know how we got onto all this. Oh, I guess somebody asked me about it. But anyway.
We have had to adapt life a lot because, well, I mean, Tara was sick when I met her, but I didn't really understand to what degree that really, what that really meant. But definitely we've had to adapt differently than other people. So we just don't do things in the same way that other people do. But do it.
Jamie just walked in. Her ears are burning.
Jamie, we were just talking about you.
That's what I just said.
It's good you know she's on now.
Yeah. So B-Beauty wants to know, does stress set it off? Yes. Stress really makes it worse.
And noise and people. And
talking. Yeah. Talking makes me, that's why the shows really wear me out, is talking. I don't know what it is about talking, but yeah, like that's one of the things, like going to church and we're having to talk to a lot of people and stuff like that, you know, but stress is huge. And honestly, looking back on it now, would I have done living on a dime, knowing what I know now? I'm not sure that I would have. I'm glad that we're really able to help people, and I'm glad that it's our income and it's something that we can do, because we've had a lot of major life issues where if Mike was working a 9-to-5 job, we wouldn't have been able to, you know, deal with. But, you know, the stress is really a toll. Yeah, it really takes a toll. So we have to be really, really careful. And like between these two shows, I was laying down and having the kids bring me everything because I'm like, I can't do it. So, yeah. So anyway.
Well, we certainly appreciate you you being here tonight. I think.
Well, thank you for having us.
Oh,
this was fun.
It was great.
It's been, you know, it's a little different. It's a different way to look at some of these channels, and we really enjoy it, and we certainly appreciate everybody that comes into the chat here. And
when do you want to retire from living on a dime?
About 15 years ago. Oh.
Well, see, it's funny because over the years, Tara's had these times where things start looking up and she's like, oh, hey, we can do this and we can do this and we can do this. And then things will kind of wane a little and she'll say, that's it, I quit. I'm thinking, I can't do this without you. You dragged me into this. Now I can't do it alone.
I'm so bipolar.
But we have tried
with the business.
It's funny because we have tried other things where I was doing them alone. Like Rocky Mountain Relaxation is a channel I have on YouTube, but I haven't done. I did a lot with it briefly, and then I haven't much since then. But it's where we went and shot a bunch of mountain streams and did relaxation stuff. Or like when Ellie and I went to Ireland, we shot a lot of video that I haven't edited yet. But it would, if ever we stopped doing living on a dime, I would have to do something like those things.
Not quite. I honestly don't know when we'll retire from it.
We don't have any plans to do it until we die at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment we're just going to keep going until something happens. So, although
we're going to have to smack a few of our trolls. we have some people that. They're kind of trolls, but they say they love us.
Melissa says she's hooked on us. We can't ever retire.
Yeah. So Mountain Mama says, yes, the waterfalls help. I actually have some footage that I need to put together to add more. I have more things to put on that channel. We've just, at the time when I was doing it, it wasn't succeeding in a financial way. And suddenly Living on a Dime just took off because we were doing the live shows and I didn't have time. But I need to get back and do some more of that. Because I actually have some.
Because I asked him to do the Rocky Mike. So Mike has another channel. So we have 3 channels altogether.
I'm
Living on a Dime. We have Rocky Mountain Relaxation, which is Mike's water streams video that's relaxing. You turn it on for 3 hours and you go to sleep. And I told him to do that because I'm like, this is great. I love it.
It was fun shooting it.
Yeah. And then we have.
Did you see Will's question?
How to make soap on a
No.
dime. So, yeah.
Will asked if there was going to be a spinoff, Living on a Nickel.
Yeah.
I think we better move it up to a quarter.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm thinking $1 or $2. We need to be getting. Yeah. Yeah.
And to think he'll be in the hot seat in a few weeks.
Well, yes, he will.
Uh-huh.
Next week.
Next week?
Yeah,
next
Will
Monday.
will be in the hot seat next week.
Why?
The weekend homestead is going to be on our show next week.
Oh, cool.
All right.
So
Thanks, Deep South.
So he'll be on the hot seat this coming week.
Friendly trolls. So we have this one lady that's a troll, and we think she's probably
I wonder
like,
if she's watching right now.
well, if she is, stop sending your letters because they're going in the trash. But she sends us really, really nice letters, and then she sends us these crazy, nasty letters, and they're all anonymous. We're like,
It'll be like positive. Oh, it'll be
I
like,
love you guys. You're the best.
no,
ever."
it'll be like, you guys are awful and terrible and everything's horrible. And I love you and I love your family.
Wouldn't that be considered a stalker?
Just bipolar.
But yeah, bipolar.
We've had other stalkers before.
I've
Yes, you
had death
will.
threats. Now, who threatens somebody because they're telling people how to say
I forgot what it was, that guy in Newfoundland. What was he threatening you about?
I can't. It was something about getting out of debt.
She said something that was really innocuous, like, I just love raisins and oatmeal. And he was like, I'm going to kill you because how dare you say that? I was thinking, okay, I think somebody needs some Prozac. But it's been interesting over the years to see. I mean, the thing is, we deal with a lot of people. What was the show tonight? How many people were watching?
Like 1,000 at one point. Yeah.
And the thing is, when you get a larger number of people, there is a certain percentage that's just not right. And the thing is that when the group gets bigger, the number of those people is bigger because the group is bigger. So the majority of people are awesome, but there's a few in there. And the funny thing is, there are certain trolls that just, they say some horrible, awful things, and yeah, they're trolls. And then there are other people who are kind of on the fringe that say trollish sounding things, but they say other things that are positive, and you realize, wow, I think this person is just a little.
Well, we've
One fry short of a Happy Meal.
Yeah, I was going to say something like that. Yeah. So some of the people we just say, oh, so and so is at it again. We just kind of laugh, but.
But the thing with trolls, there's a whole bunch of YouTubers on here actually right now, and I want to address this actually, and then we can go. But do not. I know we got onto this, but do not address them.
That's what they want.
That's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Don't comment about them. Don't acknowledge them in any way, shape, or form. Delete and ban them and move on. And I know we're talking about it this evening, but really, that's what you have to do. And we get trolls every single day. I'm banning people every single day. But you just have to delete it and move on because the trolls, that's what they're wanting.
They get excitement from you saying, I can't believe this person's trolling me.
well,
Yeah.
that's why we have our little troll here.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, you've got a built-in troll, and your troll is being very well behaved.
We appreciate that.
But for ours, we've learned that we have to be a little careful because if they're obviously trolls, we block them right away. But some people will post things and we think, wow, that sounds trollish, but it's not completely clear that they're trollish. And then we'll find out they live in another country, and the way that they explain things sounds, if they were American, it would sound argumentative. But then we realize, oh, this person's not American. And then we realize, oh, this is what this person means. And there are some people that at the beginning we thought we were going to block them. And now they're some of our most favorite viewers because we realize, oh, hey, this person is just from a place where what they say is different. So we kind of
We watch the iffy ones for a little while. And
if somebody says something that's iffy, we'll watch it for a little while, and unless it becomes outright bad, we don't block them.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if it's somebody that we really that's one of our apparently loyal followers who says something kind of crazy, we think, well, I can't really believe that so and so meant this in that way. And if it's kind of nasty, we may hide the comment, but we don't block them unless they continue. There was one, unfortunately, that got really upset at us about something innocuous one day, and I have no idea what was wrong that day, but we eventually had to block her just because she made like 30 comments, and they were all just...
Oh, we were eating out of the bowl that I cooked the food in. And this gal who was a really good, oh no, that wasn't it. It was the apron.
No, it was that. Yeah.
So anyway, people get onto us because the kids will eat out of the bowl when I've cooked something on the show, so they'll just start scooping it out of the bowl and I've worn the same apron twice or something.
Oh,
or I'm touching my
no
head.
no hairnet.
Oh yeah,
no plastic gloves.
When Mike was overseas and you were doing one of your cooking shows, you tasted something with your fingers and not a spoon or something. Yeah. And you were just ragged on right after that.
Yeah.
It's like, give her a break. It's her family, her fingers. She knows what she's doing.
Like one lady, she really got on to me for not wearing gloves. And I mean, she really harassed me for not wearing gloves. And finally, I'm like, lady, that's it. I'm done. It's my family. We're all touching the doorknobs. We're all touching the dishwasher. We're all touching the whatever.
But it's not like you do that when we're yes.
No, I don't.
But one thing also, because I think this might be related to Tara's illness, but she has this thing where she will, without really thinking about it, touch her face or
well, what happens, I think it's my fibromyalgia, because another YouTuber told me this, that when I start talking a lot, my face just feels like bugs are crawling on it. And I just have to, if you guys see me like just kind of, and it feels like bugs are crawling on my face. And I think it's from talking so much, reaction with the fibromyalgia.
But some people completely go off about that. And thinking, if you understood, she wasn't just being weird. This is actually that, because most of the viewers don't care, but some people, if Tara touches her face and then she touches a cooking utensil, they just completely flip. Mm-hmm.
I know. But the other day, the eating out of the family bowl, I made some pasta, and oh my goodness.
Now Mama says, ask them if they want a bite.
I should. See, Angie's Pantry says she has that with her fibro too. And I just realized that just not that long ago, just a few weeks ago, that I think that might be a fibromyalgia symptom, actually. So I need to see if I can find a supplement that'll help calm that down. I don't know what you would call that. Crawling like bugs on your face. What would be a supplement for that? I don't know. I don't know. So
we can't stop now. We don't want to end on this note.
I know. Ramona says it's the nerves reacting in fibro. She had it too. Interesting.
Cat lover, I kiss my hubby, then eat from the same fork.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's funny, actually, I have to say, I used to have some weird things about things like drinking out of the same glass as somebody else. And then we had kids, and I was realizing, if you're going to be that way with your kids, they're going to have a complex and think you don't love them. Yeah. Because kids, they do all kinds of crazy things, and you just have to roll with it. And so now that they're older, I'm thinking,
yeah. See, I'm not the only one. Like all these people. So Giggle Chop said that she has the same problem. She said it on our show. Maybe she was the one that I heard tell about. Bugs, right?
Oh God, I can only imagine next Monday night with Will on here. It's gonna be like it's gonna be a funny farm.
I know. Yeah.
But exactly. Yeah, I agree with the fibro because I have it, but I also have diabetic neuropathy in my feet. So you got the feeling of things crawling on you, and your feet are numb, and so much fun getting old.
Yeah, I started taking Senatol, and that helped my neuropathy a lot. I'll email you a link. You might try it. It's a little on the pricey side, But my hands and legs were going numb just standing like a year ago. I was getting really concerned because I would just be standing there, and like in 2 or 3 minutes, my arms and legs would start going numb. And it was getting really, really bad.
Yeah, Cat Lover says, I love when Tara says you don't have to watch the whole hour. People shouldn't watch what they don't like. It's funny because it makes me think, I can't remember who posted it, but somebody posted Truth Bomb Mom. She has this video on Facebook where she says, you know, they have this thing called the pause button.
Yeah.
And you can click it and he instantly stop talking. It was just funny because she addresses the people that criticize you. I think the beginning of her story was, people say, I don't like any of your videos. And she says, videos. That means they watched more than one.
We get that all the time. I hate your videos. Your videos are too long. Stop talking so much. Your videos are just too long. I'm like, what?
How would you know if you're not watching them? Yeah.
What's funny is
an off button.
Well, what's funny is we consistently get 2 dislikes on almost all of our YouTube videos. And I have this theory that those 2 are the same 2 people. And you know, YouTube, if all you have is likes and you have no dislikes, they wonder if you're paying people to give you the likes. So when you have a couple that are down and others that are up, that's actually helpful.
It's actually helpful, yeah.
So sometimes we give a shout out to our couple of thumbs down trolls.
Keep going, guys.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad you're checking in.
Come on back next week.
Well, you know, Grizz encourages the thumbs down.
Oh my gosh. Who's
Yeah.
You know who Grizz is?
Yeah.
Grizz 270. He's in Oregon.
Yeah.
I do. Mike doesn't, but I do.
He's a little rough on the edges. He has a heart of gold. He truly does. And he doesn't pull any punches.
But we had one person, you know, they left our channel because we're going to tolerate him. Well, hello. You know, he doesn't go. He kind of bends, but he doesn't really go clear over the wall.
Doesn't go clear over the wall. That's a good one.
We have occasionally had somebody spew some language who's like a regular loyal viewer that we like, and those people will sometimes hide that comment just because we really don't want the channel to be in that realm. but we try to keep them around because most of the time they behave and we really like them. So
yeah. Well, and it's funny. Who was it? Who knows on here said one time someone said Mike needed Tara's permission to talk.
I remember that one.
I was like, "Are you kidding me? He's just looking at me to wait for me to finish my sentence." You are, aren't you?
Mike, it's okay. I understand, Mike. Mike, I understand. It's fine.
So
he can talk, and I let him. But sometimes it's a signal between us, and it's kind of funny because, believe it or not, even in the videos you wouldn't notice it, but Mike's the talker, not me.
Mike, me?
And so sometimes he'll look at me like, okay, do I need to be wrapping this up or do I keep going?
Well, and sometimes there'll be a secret little inner conversation going on between us where Tara will say something and then I'll look like, are you sure you want to open up that can right now? and it could be easily mistaken, but we'll know the story and we'll both understand where that story is going to go if we start heading down that path.
Giggle Chop said, Link if you need to talk like.
Think twice if you're being held hostage.
Like my Dave Ramsey video comment the other day. I blew that one. I am not anti-Dave Ramsey at all. I'm not. But I opened my big mouth.
oh my gosh, with that class, with buying those books. Oh my Lord.
It totally came out wrong. And I need
what?
I'm not known for planning ahead what I'm going to say.
No, Daryl, we're never getting you and Mike together. I can see it now.
I said, that was a mistake. Hold on, people. Time out. Let me translate.
Oh, you need to go back and watch that one. That was good.
Well, actually, it's off now, but we're going to put it back on again because, oh, man, I really got blasted for that one. But like with the Dave Ramsey thing, I wasn't meaning I don't like Dave Ramsey. What I was meaning was people who are making $30,000 a year shouldn't be paying $100 or $150 to go do a program when they can just go listen to his podcast or get his books at the library, which I do know he encourages. And it's the same for us. We do the same thing. We have thousands of videos and posts on our website free for anybody who wants it. And my point for when
but then people will say, "You're going to want me to pay for a book?"
Yeah.
We'll go see the free stuff if you want the free stuff. There's lots of it.
But what I was saying was, it's not going to do you any good to do all these programs or anything if you're not going to just do it. You have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I was kind of going with the Dave Ramsey thing, but I blew it on that one. I know. So I'm not, all of you out there, I'm not anti-Dave Ramsey. I like him. His program's good.
The thing is, I'm kind of the diplomat.
Yes.
Actually, we've played good cop, bad cop in the past.
Yeah.
Well, since this subject has come up,
and then I'll have to come in and clarify.
Since this subject has come up, what's your opinion on like Steam It or Patreon or some of these other things where you get your users to pay and come in? And
Well, I don't see anything wrong with doing it, because here's the thing: we've been doing this for 18 years. We've only really been making a good let me put it this way, up until about 4 years ago, we were making $1 an hour. Okay. So I think that people like Dave Ramsey and us, we have our products to sell so that we can earn our living. And I have absolutely no problem with Patreon if they want to put special videos up on there. I have no problem with that at all. But from a YouTuber point of view, I don't think Patreon is worth the time and effort it doesn't pay. I don't think it's worth doing. We tried it. We had what, like $20 a month or something when we tried it?
We tried it, and we had a little more than that. It was like around 40. But the thing is, there were a lot of people, and typically there were a lot of technical issues. And so I ended up, for the 2 months that we got like close to $40 a month, I spent like, I don't know, 60 hours of work to try to support to try to give them tech support. And I realized, wow, 60 hours for $40 is not a,
yeah.
And the thing that we've discovered is, and this is something actually that makes sense because of my PBS days too, is people in their hearts want to give, but more often than that, people want to get something and feel like they're giving. So if you say, here's Patreon, you can give us some money because we're making great shows, people don't, in their minds, they think, why should I pay for that when I'm getting it free anyway? But when it's something like the book, if we can express how there's value to you in this, and by the way, this is helping us too, then they like that. And so we would, so kind of like when we were taking our son to the Mayo Clinic and it was going to cost a lot of money, and people were saying, hey, you should start a Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. Yeah.
No, not Kickstarter. What is that?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe page.
But part of what we were thinking is, we can do that, and there are people who would want to help that way, but it's better for us to mark down a product and have a big sale, because then people they get something while they're helping. And it seems like that's a more effective way of raising money for things when you need it. Like years and years ago, our daughter had a sudden medical emergency.
She got whacked in the head with a golf club.
And
her brain was showing, it was bad.
Oh, so, my.
At the time, we didn't know how to, I just did it.
Did you slap the table?
I'm going to get all kinds of, what?
No,
I touched my nose.
Waiting
for the comments. Anyway, she got hit in the head with a golf club. It was an accident with our kids. and she was in the hospital for a couple days in the ICU. And this, at the time, we had been working really hard on living on a dime for ages and hadn't made any money.
Hadn't made any money. It'd been like 8 years,
and
no money.
This guy who had been pursuing us to try to get us to do a joint business thing with him said, hey, I have this idea. Your people really want to help you. You're just not asking. And so he kind of wrote a thing for us to run on our channel. He said he wanted to do it as a gift for us with his products. And he offered them to our group at a really big discount, and lots and lots of people
got the
it.
entire $12,000 that our insurance didn't cover paid for.
Paid for it all. And this was after us not making any money at this business for years and years and years. Suddenly, one sale.
That was our first profit.
And he donated it all to us. It was his product, and he just donated all the money to us. And he said, see, your people do like you, and they want to help you. They just need to understand how in those moments. And we don't take advantage of that. Like we don't have a crisis every week. Yeah. And things like when BJ went to Mayo, it was expensive. It was financially painful for us, but God provided the money before we needed it. So some people did send us stuff, but we didn't ask them to, because we were thinking it's not, we weren't feeling like it was the right thing at that time. So.
Yeah. I mean, don't get us wrong. We totally are okay with people doing GoFundMe sites and stuff like that. We just didn't feel like at the time we have enough products in that we can do sales and do that kind of thing. And so, yeah, so that's why. But, and Steam It, I just discovered that like 2 days ago. Somebody, who was it? American Homestead, I think.
Yeah.
Is he doing it?
He's doing it, yes. Big time.
So,
He's
I don't
pushing
even know what it is. What is it?
It's a platform where instead of using actual dollars, they use bitcoins.
Oh.
Crypto money.
DJ would know about that.
Crypto money.
Huh.
Superman money?
Sort of.
So how would you get paid then?
Well, you can cash in crypto money. I think.
Huh. Have you heard of Steam It, BJ? Steam It? They use bitcoins to get paid? Huh. No, he hasn't heard of it.
There are a lot of things that we hear, and we have to think about, is this worth testing it? Because a lot of those things, like when we did the Patreon, it took us a lot of effort to test it, and it didn't succeed at all. And we've had other things where we know we could make. There's a product that I forgot what it is that Tara likes that people have been trying to get us to sell, but it's more expensive than what we normally mention to our market. And in the past, when we've tried to bring those things to people, even though Tara likes it, nobody will buy it. It's kind of like we've learned a lot of lessons in marketing over the years. We used to do a lot of stuff with TV and radio and newspapers and magazines. And we were in this period where we were just going crazy with all this stuff. And one time we got a call because Parade magazine, the insert that comes in the Sunday papers, wanted to interview us. They had 70 million viewers or readers. So we thought, oh, hey, this is going to be awesome. And people were telling us, you should buy more books. There's going to be a run on the store and you're going to sell everything. And so we bought twice as many books as we'd ever bought before.
12,000 books.
From the printer. And we didn't have all the money on hand, which is the one time we did that. And when their 70 million readership paper came out, we had no sales, 0. And we were thinking, wow, that's an interesting learning. So we started to learn, we have to think what seems to work is not necessarily what the general consensus of people would say works.
Yeah.
Like we've had great success with Countryside magazine carrying our books, and they love it. And honestly, because the people that are their followers are our followers. I mean, they're the people that like them are the same kind of people that like us. So it's a great partnership.
For us, we've learned just what's working for business, do more of that. Just because someone else is doing Patreon or Steam It or whatever doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work for you.
Right.
And also, don't always listen to your viewers or your customers, because we have found that when we do like surveys and stuff, everybody's like, I want crock pot cooking. I want this cooking. I want that cooking. I want a diabetic cookbook. I want a gluten-free cookbook. I want a this cookbook. I want a that cookbook. And then when we write it, because we have 49 ebooks and print books all together, when we write it, it doesn't sell. That's why I don't do crock pot cooking, because even though that's the number one thing everybody asks for, it's not the number one thing people will buy. And even though we are here to help people, we truly want to help people. This is also our livelihood, and we have to look at it from a business standpoint. And you really need to evaluate. Just this week, we spent 2 hours evaluating our YouTube videos, what is working and what's not. And we're going to be changing some things based on what is actually working, because what we thought was working isn't what's actually working. So, you know, that's where, from a business standpoint, just for all you YouTubers on here, you really need to look at your analytics, and you need to look at your sales and see where people are going to help fund you, you know, to pay for these things. Because in the end, you can do it for fun, and that's fine if you want to do it for fun. But eventually, you're going to have things you need to buy, equipment, you know, lights, new computers, new cameras, whatever. And, I mean, if you're just filthy stinking rich, that's fine. But, you know, most people can't just pay for that stuff out of their pockets. So,
well, the other thing is, if you are doing YouTube stuff, people have a sense that everything you do should be free. And it's fine. Like with us, we offer a lot of free stuff. But when I worked at a church for a while, and they were taking advantage of me financially when I was working there. And I came across the verse that says the man should get paid for his work. And I realized, you know, there is something to be said for people should get paid for the work that they do. And so I think about that with other people's things. But where was I going with this?
The mind's the first thing to go.
I know. Well, mine's been gone for a long time. So
you're talking about at the church when they weren't paying you.
Yeah, but there's a reason about that. Oh yeah, on the getting paid for your work. Just a lot of people think that you should do everything for free, and there's a point where we realize we can't keep doing this unless we get paid. So that's where when that particular person showed us what would happen with when he did that thing with Ellie, we started having sales based on stuff that he taught us that helped us make more money, but not taking advantage of people, but just by realizing, oh, hey, instead of telling people, hey, this is what we have to offer you, instead to tell them, this is how this might help you change your life. And it's funny because we do make money, but there are a lot of people that visit us that have never bought anything, and we still embrace them. But it's fun because we've had recently, after all these years, some people contact us and say, you know, I never really told you how you changed my life 18 years ago. And those make us feel better about what we're doing, especially in the days when we feel frustrated, like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, and, you know, and pretty much every day I'm telling Mike, okay, that's it, I quit. But it's funny because when I'm in my I quit, that's it, forget it, we always get a letter that says, oh, you've just totally changed my life. You helped me. I didn't even think that I was eating out that much, and I added it up, and now I can be a stay-at-home mom because we're not eating out. Or we were able to become debt-free, and then when my husband had a heart attack, we didn't have to worry about the bills so much.
Somebody told us her husband had suddenly died, and we helped promote something, and it just totally...
Yeah, we had one lady, she was a blogger, and her husband had died, and she said, you know, she said, I just want to tell you guys thank you. She said, because I was an affiliate with you, my husband died, and I had no way to support my family, and I was able to sell your products and keep my family going until I could get my business going for my blog. And so, you know, that makes it all worth it. But you know, for all the YouTubers that are on here, it does come down to it is a business for most people. Not everybody, I totally get that. But, you know, you do have expenses and stuff that you've got to consider, because it's not right that you're putting all this energy and effort to teach people. Like Jamie and I teach people how to make soap. And Jamie said, she was the only one I told I quit to. No, I tell Michael almost every day. But
and I'm always thinking, oh no, that's it, man.
Well,
Game
see,
over, man.
we need to go visit Deep House South Homestead, because I think we are like right there with you guys, because they're the same way. They said, we're always saying it's not worth it, and then we get that letter and it revives us. That's what it does for us too. And so we really appreciate when people send us the letters of appreciation, so that when we get the crackpots that are
more common. Well,
common, so.
People tend to tell you more when they don't like you.
Yeah, than when they do. So that's what keeps us going. And I will be honest, if I could only do videos, no blog stuff, no answering emails, no shipping books or anything, I would be a happy camper. But, you know, we kind of have to sell books to keep going. So anyway, yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean to make this so long. We just sort of got going.
Well, you know, it's been great though.
Yeah, it has been.
It's been absolutely great. We've had a great time. I hope you folks have as well. Let's do this as kind of a last call. Anybody in the chat that's got any questions, this is your last call. Get them out here, and we're going to shut it down very shortly here.
Weekend Homesteader said, I'm going to quit probably sometime Monday next week.
Oh, he's going to be with us next Monday night.
That's pretty good.
In his shorts and the hot seat, he said.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to get on all that, but I guess I don't know. I guess we were meant to talk about it. I don't know.
It worked. It worked.
But, you know, people think, oh, YouTubers just do this for fun and they shouldn't get paid for anything. And I don't think that's true. I think you are offering a valuable service to people, and you should expect to be paid your value. And if it's...
Will's not right. Will is not right. I could see Mike saw the comment also.
Yeah, you know.
We begin in April and want to quit.
It's funny because Bandana Grandma asked me it was Penny. Penny and I were talking the other day, and she said something about, you got to stop doing something or another. I can't remember what it was. You guys got to slow down or you're going to burn out. And I was like, Penny, I burned out in 2003. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, actually, I wish I wasn't kidding, because we've really just been going on fumes that whole time. And so now we're kind of figuring out our rhythm, maybe a little bit.
I like the show part of it. Since we've started doing video, it's kind of renewed our love for it.
That's what I originally set out to do, was the show part, teaching people how to save money and get out of debt and cook and that kind of thing. It's all the other business stuff. If we didn't have bookkeeping and printers showing and semis showing up at our house when they're not supposed to, stuff like that, you know. So,
but starting to do the shows, especially for me, you know, it's stressful beforehand when it seems like things might not go well technically. But once we get into the show, it kind of really re-energizes me.
Yeah, it does me too. So anyway.
Well, it's been
a riot.
It's been a very good time.
It sure has.
And
thank you guys for having us.
Oh yeah, thanks a lot.
Angie, I'm glad you stopped tonight and that you subscribe to their channel. They are good people. They are really good people.
Well, and we certainly appreciate everybody that's in the chat tonight, and we thank you for being here. And
a lot of interaction.
And hope you had fun as well.
Next Monday.
I think you're our longest show ever.
I think this is our longest show.
I believe so. Yeah.
So all those people who start yelling at you for having too long a shows, just say it's Mike and Tara's fault. Just go over there.
I needed to increase my watch time.
Yeah, they could have left at any time.
Yeah, I needed to increase my watch time.
Well, and we had Will in the background.
Yeah, we keep saying we're going to put GoPros on our heads and just walk around live all day long.
So, having said all that,
you're welcome, Mindy. You should be getting it This is Monday. You should be getting it probably by the end of this week.
Cool.
Any other
guys,
questions? Don't see anything. Okay, we're gonna shut off. Thank you all for coming. Have a wonderful week. Next week,